Hey guys, how's it going? So this is my racing mower. I just built it, and we're gonna do a little walk around, see how I built it, and see how good it does donuts. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I guess the first thing we should know, is the motor size. Guess that's the easiest thing to do. So this thing started off as a Mori Select 15.5 horsepower 6-speed manual, which the 6-speed manual is still in it, but it does not have the original motor. As you can see, this is a 22 horsepower overhead valve V-twin. It's pretty cool. It sounds really great, and yeah, it's a beast. Super powerful, plenty powerful for this thing. I have not done any mods to it. Besides, I did drill out the jets a little bit in the carburetor. Very simple to do. You don't even have to take the carburetor off. You just have to pull the bowl, and the jets fall out, and then you make them bigger. And then what I did to make them a little bigger and put them in without taking the carburetor off was I put a little grease on them to slip them up in so they stay until you can put the bowl back on and they hold themselves in. Some idiot driving down the road. Sorry, we've got a main, kind of like a highway here. Being a little annoying. Then I just, the exhaust is just this. It's the factory header. It was originally in front right there. I flipped it around. You don't even have to cut anything. You just literally flip it around. It is quite close to the oil. And then I put this nice little $10 exhaust tip on it, I guess you could say. Tractor Supply has them. Like I said, it was $9.99. And that's all that has been done with it. I have a little video what I had to do in here. Okay, well, I just want to make a quick video. V-twin Briggs wasn't running right. Thought, this side seems funny. It doesn't seem like it's running on this side. So I was like, man, there's nothing wrong with the carburetor. What the heck's wrong with this piece of junk? It was running perfect, and then it wasn't. I figured out what was wrong. So I came in here, opened up the valve cover of the side that I thought was wrong, because this is V-twin, and that's what I see. That's not supposed to be like that. Then I'm like, oh no, well that's not good. Where the heck's the other piece that goes in right there? You know, that thing that goes should be right there. I found it. It was way back in that hole. Thankfully it didn't go into the motor. But yeah, I guess I must have over-revved this thing or something. I should probably check the other side now once I put this back together. I don't even know how the heck this goes, but I guess we're going to figure it out. So that was kind of bad. Then I'll get the hood off maybe not. So this is the throttle linkage setup. So you see I have my cable coming in right here with one of the crimp connects for your battery on it. And then it uses this exact same mount that it came from the factory. I took everything off behind it, and this is what I did. I drilled a hole here and a hole here, which this hole was already here, and then I drilled this one, I believe, and then I ran some linkage up into the carburetor. I'll come over to this side and show you. Boom, you can see that linkage right there, and when I hit the gas with my finger, it pulls it down. And then I got my showing spring on that same hole right there. And then that bicycle cable, which it was the original deck cable, or something like that, from this mower. I got it routed up around, and then I actually drilled a hole right here. Boom. And that's hooked onto this plastic piece, which I obviously painted. This color is a concrete color. That's what it's called. It's what it's called in the can, but it's more like a, I don't know, it's concrete color. Then that cable comes down, pops right through there, and then right down to my homemade gas pedal. So as you can obviously tell, this is two, I believe, 7/16. You can still see it right there, 7/16. Wrenches, box end, with a nut, that's a nut, drilled out and put onto this 1/4 inch rod on both sides, and then I got a nice piece of rebar right there that fit right perfectly in there, and then I got it welded on both ends. And then this right here is my throttle stop, and it stops perfectly and it works great, and there's nothing wrong with it. And then I got it mounted right here with a piece of angle iron, welded the angle iron to this, and bolted it down with two factory self-tapper bolts. That is very simple, and obviously, as you can see, I have the second exhaust on it because it's a V-twin. I kept the stock gas tank, was not needed, it's got the pump on there. And then for the wiring, I just have my key switch right there, my choke, and then this was actually a factory clutch switch. So you keep your clutch pedal down, and that's my kill switch right there, boom, and it's dead. And that was very nice. All you need is the two black wires, and you can make that a momentary switch. I located my battery to the middle of the frame, used some nice 3/8 rebar right across here on both sides. It came out really nice, spray painted it black. It's held in there nice, and then I got a hole there for the positive, and then a hole on the other side for the negative right there. And then that's where my switch comes into, negative or ground, and then this wire goes right into the factory connector that kills the motor, that goes to the coils. And like I said, that works amazing. And then my choke is just routed the factory way with the factory linkage. And then the wiring is very simple. I have this right here. I obviously am not using this. This is the headlight wire, and this is the charging wire. This goes right back. If I can get you guys in here, right back, hot, to the positive side of the solenoid. You guys can see that black wire going right to the positive side of the solenoid. That one over there. And then same thing with the key switch. This is a three-prong key switch. Power is the blue wire, and the white wire is the solenoid switch right there. You can see that white wire going right down and connecting to that terminal on the solenoid right there. That one right there. And that's very simple. All that does is turn on the motor and fire it up. There is no kill switch on this key. If you turn this off while it's running, it's not going to do anything. That is just to turn on the solenoid to get it to jump. Then the next thing I've done is I put a 2.5-inch pulley on here. I cut off the original pulley that was on the back. It wasn't the original one, it was a different one, but same thing. Then I welded it onto this because Tractor Supply didn't have any 5/8 hubs. And then this is the same Tractor Supply pulley that I welded onto there. And then I lowered, so in the rear, I lowered the transmission. I brought the transmission up in the frame 1 1/4 inches. So that's why you can see all that shaft on there. You can see all that like 1/2 inch of shaft there sticking up. And then obviously I flipped over the pulley. You can see normally it would be the pulley would be flipped over, and the pulley itself would be on the top, and this hub would be down on the bottom. So that alone got me like 3/4 of an inch. And then lowering it down, the original transmission had a quite a bit taller shaft, and it stopped like you could say it stopped right at the that crease on my finger, and it actually hit the transmission and went into the transmission down here. So this is all where the pulley used to sit. So I flipped the pulley around like you saw, and then I actually took the snap ring that was right here holding the pulley from going down any farther. I took that off, slid it down to the bottom, and then I actually whacked the pulley on even farther down the shaft. So like I said, that got me about 1 1/4 inches lift. And then I just went over here and I just rebolted my bolts 1 1/4 inches up higher. And then I dropped the frame down. You guys might be able to see those couple holes. Hold on, right there. Yeah, you can see those 3 holes right there. So the first hole at the top was where at factory the body sat. Then I drilled the second one down, and then I thought that wasn't enough, so I drilled that third one down on both sides. So I was able to drop the frame down probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches from center to center of bolt holes. and that's just these 2 bolt holes. Like I said, they used to ride like up here, and now they're way down here, which squatted the frame or the whole body down quite a bit to give me that sleeker look. And it is kind of raked in the back, I guess you'd call it, a squatting. You know, I've got probably, I think I measured it like 2 1/4 inches, or 1 3/4 inches from the tire to here. But geez, I mean, if you think I dropped that down 2 inches or so, 2 1/4 inches, if I dropped that down 1 inch, as in the transmission in the frame, 1 1/4, so that's 2 1/4 inches, and you still got this much room. And these are the factory Torf Saver tires. In my opinion, they're the best for drag racing, or you know, for what I'm doing. They don't even really tear up the grass very much when you're drifting around, but they give you enough traction, or they don't give you enough traction so you can drift around and slide, but they give you enough traction to go, you know, and they're not a slick, obviously. I've drifted this thing on concrete before, yes. And then I got that transmission mount right there. I just put it up into this hole. It was originally down here, and then I moved the whole bracket up, and then I drilled a different hole. You can see the bottom hole right there, and then the top hole where the bolt is, that's where the transmission mount is. I do not have a mount on the other side. You can see, I don't know if I really want to, I mean, I want to put one there, but I can't. It's kind of going to be difficult, and yeah. I lost that original mount that went there, so it was a little bit more difficult. All the shift linkage is the same, I think. I don't know. I took this thing apart a long time ago and I started piecing it back together like a month ago, a couple weeks ago. So this is how the shift linkage is. This is factory. All of this is factory, including this rod right here and this lay piece. The only difference is this is raised up. You can see I bent that whole piece right there, where the shifter actually comes out of the transmission, right there. Bent that so that shifts, and let me shift it for you. There's reverse, then that's sixth gear, and that works perfectly. It is kind of sloppy, but I have every gear. I did have to notch the frame a little bit to get 6th gear. As you can see, that was like a perfect cut right there. That was the first one, because in reverse it was actually neutral, and then forced, and then yeah, then I didn't have reverse and stuff like that, so I had to cut that out to make that work. And obviously you can see I cut out this V triangle thing so I could slip the belt in, and this actually hit right there on that, so I had to do it anyway. So that worked good. Clutch linkage, all the same. Factory clutch and everything like that. I did, like I said, I had to cut some of it out right there. And by pushing the clutch, it really doesn't work well, but you can see that it does work. It does not, you can push in the clutch and it never stops, but that's fine. It actually shifts. If you're just sitting there idling, you know, slowly going, you can just click it into neutral and it fires and it stops, and then you can click it into first and start moving. But yeah, I really like the way the paint came out. I just had the paint laying around from a customer. I fixed this mower and I had to paint it, so that's how it kind of turned out. The factory seat, actually I lowered the seat as well. You can see the seat is right on that frame rail right there, and you can see it rubs right there. Here's what I did. I just made a mount right here, then I welded it to the frame. I put the seat right where I wanted it, which was pretty much on the edge of this little roll right there, and then I welded it in. It's not quite perfect. People can't be considerate. It's not quite perfect in every level, but it works, and it's a very nice seat. These Mower gel seats are the best, or whatever the heck they are. About to ground out my battery. That's nice. And then I have this, you know, this strap right here that goes around here and holds the hood down. As you guys know, that's on my mud mower as well, which we are rebuilding, as you guys have probably seen. But yeah, this thing, oh, and then obviously you guys want to know the pulleys. So this thing, like I said, has that 2.5 inch in the rear. And then, your jaw's going to drop. Ready? That is an 8-inch pulley right there. That is an 8-inch pulley that I was able to squish into the frame. From Tractor Supply, it says 8-inch right on it. On that tag right there. I got the 1-inch hub from them. And I welded it to the factory because I didn't have a keyway. Whatever. And it holds it where it needs to be. But yeah. As you can see, I had to bend down that frame a little bit. To slide it up in and out without unbolting the motor. An 8-inch is the biggest you can go. I did have to cut out all of what was here. You can see I cut out right to there. And then I cut out that whole entire length of piece. And I left it there for strength, but I cut it out so I could fit the pulley in there. There's a leaf in there. But yeah, that 8-inch pulley is perfect. That's the biggest you can go. You might be able to fit a 9-inch under there, but this thing is plenty fast. Factory steering, all works really nice. The gears are all nicely meshed. I actually pulled them together with a bungee cord. I really bungeed them together to push these two gears together. I took a bungee around the top. I'll show you now. I took a bungee around the shaft right there. Which is that one right there, that shaft right there. You can see it comes down into that piece. I bungeed that as tight as I could because it's slotted holes. And then I cranked it down with the impact really tight. And so that made those gears mesh really nice and tight. Now the last of the slop is in these couple joints and stuff. I'm not really going to worry about it. This mower does go super fast. Sometime in the future I will have to get a top speed. As far as I know, it'll probably do over 45 miles an hour. I've got it to around 35-ish, probably, maybe 40 miles an hour. But it does plenty fast. With the big Briggs V-twin and everything like that. It is very stable drifting around. It is, oh, and I locked the diff. I got a video about that. Okay, got this thing all welded up. All nice and clean. Did a little bit different locker job this time. Got this piece all welded up. This is all one piece. With this bowl gear sitting on here, got everything cleaned up. Ready to go back in the mower. Race time. I've got it all put back together with a couple bolts in it. You see I got one here, a couple here, then down this whole back row pretty much. And this is how it should be spinning. One finger, zippy, zippy, zippy. Yes, I did weld my pulley on. It spins well. I just went to the gears, 11 or 10 millimeter. Pops right on that. Just went through every gear, including reverse. It all clicks, shifts, and pops and bangs. In a good way, so I'm going to put it all back together for you. I got it all back together. It's the next day. And this is what I filled it up with. Probably the same stuff that came out of it from the factory. You can see it. I put the whole one cord in there. And that should be good. Put the plug back in. So, yep. I might be able to add it in. Lock the diff. Probably the best way. Solid piece pretty much across there now that I've welded it all up. Yeah, this thing works great. I love it. Tires are great. Front tires are great. I actually was going so fast around my block back there, or around the block, not my block, that I actually burnt out one of these. I burnt out one set, both tires, the plastic bushings in them. I burnt them out in like, I was in like 5th gear going full throttle in 5th gear, and I burnt them out. So that'll tell you how fast it goes. I know that in about 5th gear, it'll pretty close to idle at 11 mile an hour. So it is pretty quick. And that's in 5th gear. Well, not 5th gear, 4th gear. Sorry, right about there, which is like 4th gear. And then you got 5th and 6th. So yeah, it's really fast. Obviously you guys want to see it, do some donuts and hear it. So I guess we'll fire it up right now. So don't need choke normally. I got this motor out of a good running machine, that red hooded lawnmower you guys might know something about. You stop on the clutch because of no reason, and you just give it a little gas and make sure you're in neutral. Doesn't quite want to idle. This battery is just barely strong enough to turn over this motor. It's a 20 or 200 core cranking amp, 160, something like that. It's barely strong enough. Has to be fully charged to turn it over. So let's do some smoking bonies out there in the sun, and yeah, let's have some fun. If it'll start. As you can see, it just sits there on the grass. Yeah, you can't. The clutch only works. It starts to work about 4th gear. You can push it down and dump the clutch a little bit. Sucked up some dirt or something. Excuse me. So yeah, this thing's a beast. I love it. It was super loud without the mufflers. I was pretty much made to put the mufflers on by my mom. But I did like it a lot without the mufflers, and I kind of wanted it to stay that way, but I like it quieter. You know, I'm not a super loud, crazy wacko. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. I hope you guys love it. I wish I could put you on a GoPro and, you know, do the little head head mount thing, or with helmet or something like that, but I don't have that with me, and it would take a lot longer to get this video out. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys like it, hope you guys love it. If you guys want to see more of it, because it's going to stay around. If you guys have got any questions or anything, maybe you guys got some answers to my questions that I might have given to you, feel free to give them all. I love to talk with you guys and stuff. Just make it a, something I can actually comment back on. So yeah, I'm probably not finished with it. It is a project. You're never finished with projects, but yep. See you guys later. Hope you guys like it, and see you on the next one of me walking on the